ABC, acknowledge, bridge, curiosity. So often in selling, we think selling is about, remember I said before about being interesting, but the
Yeah.
best sellers are interested.
Hey, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I am bringing an amazing guest here today. I am so excited to have Tara Lassiter here with us. She is a relationship marketing strategist that is going to talk to us all about how we can find our buyers and our believers. And she works mostly with female founders. So I told her she is in super good company here talking to all of you. But we're going to just jump in, Tara, and do some rapid fire. Can we do that
Oh,
first?
yes, I love it. I'm happy to be here. So thank you for having me. And yes, let's
Yes.
jump right into it.
I'm so excited. Okay. So, what's your coffee order?
So I'm a tea girl. So
Okay.
yeah, so matcha. This week I
Mhm.
had a honey bear matcha. It had honey and vanilla syrup and a little cinnamon. That was really good.
Oh,
And if I am having caffeine overload, I'm a chai girl, but I'm always tea.
I love some good chai. I
It
haven't got on
warms
the
your
matcha.
soul.
I need some matcha. I like need to get on that bandwagon. I mean,
Yes.
I might need to know the right order, like you said, to
It's
go with it.
steady. It's steady. You know how caffeine you like, peak and then you just poof.
Yeah.
With matcha,
Yeah.
it gives you that steady energy for the entire day. I love it. There's no
Yeah.
crash.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
Mhm.
On my list to try.
Yes.
Tell me, what's your favorite social channel to hang out on?
So I saw that you put this on there, and can I say none of the above?
That's
I know I'm
totally
like,
fine. You
I
can
do for
totally say
work.
none of the
Like for
above.
work, obviously, like I am a social seller, so I use
Yeah.
social media for work, but scrolling is not my jam. It's
Yeah.
just not. I like to read. So if there's
Okay.
anyone, it would be Substack. And if I do need to turn off my brain and just be entertained, it would be TikTok, but I don't have it on my phone right now. I deleted the app because I'll get sucked into it forever. So
It's easy to get
none, but
sucked in.
right now it's Substack and I read. Like I love to just read a good essay and a good
Yeah.
op-ed or just a point of view or a story. Like that's my jam. It fills my soul.
Oh my gosh. I love that. So good. And I mean, I'll be honest, I have a little love-hate with social too. And I
Yes.
think many of our listeners also feel that way because
Yes,
it's like a rabbit hole and it's like
it
this endless like
is.
time suck. But we're going to talk about how to really leverage it in your business here today. So
Exactly.
I love that's your answer. What is your current obsession? So it could be a
Okay.
snack, a show, a book, anything.
I just finished All Her Fault. It's on Peacock. So,
Oh,
okay,
no,
my
I have.
sister read the book. I didn't read the book yet.
Okay.
I do
Writing
love
it
a
down.
good bubbly, like a good fuzzy like mom novel, like when I need an escape between my nonfiction. So
Yeah.
this is a thriller that they turned
Ooh.
into an episode. And all right, synopsis at the beginning. I won't. If there's so many twists, you're gonna be like spitting your wine back into your glass, like while you're watching. Like what happened? But their first episode, a mom goes to pick her son up from a play date, and when she gets to the house, the woman at the house doesn't know what she's talking about.
Dun dun
So
dun.
good. Yes. So it just has you on the edge of your seat the entire time. There's so many twists. There's so many twists. It's so good. It's so well done.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Adding this to my list. I'm already
Yes.
learning so much over
It's
here.
fun.
We're gonna talk a little bit about QVC and how that's been part of
Mm,
your journey. So, is
yeah.
there a favorite product or brand that you love?
Okay, so QVC, when you're there all day, you shop all day. You just
Yeah.
and you get like client gifts too. So I am a skincare snob. I love a good Pericone Tatcha. Give me a fancy cream. Anything with 24 karat gold or great packaging. Love, love,
Yeah.
love. Josie Maren's body butter is top tier. And I started working for her, I think 2009, and I still haven't found anything that like matches that level of just like your skin is just juicy and glowing and
Ooh.
luscious. And if I think I didn't really buy clothes. I'm a millennial, so a different market.
Yeah.
Oh, but I do love that it taught me high low. So like real diamonds with lab grown diamonds with Diamondique. I
Oh.
love to mix all of those. And
Okay.
no one knows. No one knows. So
Yeah.
just sparkle on
No one knows.
and mix it all
Sparkle.
together. Yes.
More sparkle.
Yes. Yes.
I am here for that. All right. Now we're going to do a little QVC shopping too, adding more to the list.
Mm.
Anyway, we are so excited to have you here. And I can't wait for everyone to hear a little bit about your business journey and what you do and how you support others. So just give us a quick elevator speech intro about what you are all about and who you serve.
Yeah, so I work primarily with female founders. I do work with allies and other people sometimes, but like my soul, like is
Yeah.
drawn to helping female founders, especially moms who are balancing all the things and they don't want to compromise. So they still want to grow, but they don't want to like abandon their families, which is like a tug that we all have.
Mhm.
When I was at QVC, it's so small that I got to learn the insides of their businesses. So I listened to the calls that they were on or saw when they were like doing philanthropy or paying for nieces and nephews to go to camp between shows, or we would go to dinner and like just really see the behind the scenes of women taking their people with them all
Yeah.
the way to billion-dollar businesses at certain points. So that was a really like pivotal moment for me because it taught me that one, like when you take your people with you, like you remember your people,
Mhm.
they remember you, but also the power of having a personal brand because all of my most successful clients had a very recognizable brand and a very
Yeah.
recognizable story. Like when we say Martha Stewart, you can picture her entire brand.
Yeah.
There's no guessing, right? Or QVC, I mentioned Josie Marin, her story of argan oil and the argan oil lady was very like, we knew the story, you could repeat it. So
Mhm.
having a recognizable story and personal brand was something that when I had to pivot in 2020 into
Yeah.
copywriting and then into ghostwriting and now into like brand strategy.
Yeah.
Um, I see how having a personal brand helps you stand out and helps you to find the buyers and believers that help you to weather changes
Mhm.
in the market and saturation or
Yeah.
downturns or different political climates. There's so much that we can't control, and a personal brand and a pipeline really anchors your business. So that's my
Yeah.
goal is making sure that women have options and stay in business for the long haul.
Oh my gosh. I love that. I love so much of that. And I
Yes.
think, in particular, social sellers, direct sellers, network marketers, so often you start out kind of just like being under the umbrella of your company and you sell these products and you identify with those products, and that really is your brand. And
Mhm.
then as you continue to build and grow and you have a little bit of longevity, you start realizing, like, actually, this people are buying for me, but they
They're
like
buying
me.
you, right?
Yeah.
People, okay, so people are buying your products, yes, but they are really buying you. So the
Yeah.
more you can tell your story, your perspective, why you connect with those products, that sets
Mhm.
you apart from the generic take my
Yeah.
stuff, the person who's like pushing, their things online all the time. We can't connect to a product the
Yeah.
same way we can connect to a person, especially when we have a shared experience. That's when you really like magnetize people.
I love that. I love that. And I think, especially as you're building that personal brand in the beginning, it feels weird. Like, to be
Mhm.
honest, I remember being in that season being like, I don't know, why would anyone care about what I do or what I eat or what my
Yes.
coffee order is or about
Yes.
my kids or what it's like to work with my husband. And
Yeah.
over the years, I feel like sometimes I still struggle to pull those stories out and share
Mhm.
them with others. But I've learned, like, oh yeah, people are here because they actually do kind of care about that. And they love my business and they love the products and they love the services and all that we do, but they do want like the inside scoop of what's actually happening with you. And I think
Absolutely.
QVC, you probably saw that so often. So yeah, tell us about that. Like, how do you craft that story? How do
Mm.
you make use stories to sell and make it feel good and natural and not like weird or slimy or self-centered? Because I think a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it's like too much about
Yeah.
me. It should be about the product. So tell me a little bit about
So
what that
there's two
actually looks
things.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two things. So the first part is that I heard Caitlin Bourgeois say this, but she was quoting someone else. So original quote, I'm sorry, whoever said this, but
Yeah.
you don't share, you can share your scars, but not your
Mm-hmm.
open wounds. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important, like we don't want to shift so much into the authenticity, vulnerability era that we've heard so much of online that now feels
Yeah.
very cringe. If you're
Yeah.
still sharing the things you're struggling with, you share that with your therapist. That's
Yeah.
like in the text chat, right? Like we
I
don't
love
want
that.
that on a LinkedIn post. That's not for everybody to hear. But
Yeah.
if it's something that you've overcome, my
Mm-hmm.
tagline on LinkedIn is the business Barbie. And it's not just because I was on QVC, it's also because everyone needs a Barbie, right? There's the doctor and the astronaut and the mom and the chef. And
Yeah.
Barbie wears all of these different hats to tell us that there's a place for every one of us. And
Mm-hmm.
that's important today. Like you are someone's business Barbie. We are all someone's business Barbie. We are 6 months or 6 years or 16 years, depending on, I'm getting to
Yeah.
that point now, where we are a few steps ahead of that person who's looking and saying, oh, wow,
Mhm.
she has the cheat code, right? She has the
Hmm.
things that I want. And there's lots of influencers out there that have parts of the story and they make it look really good, but it feels unattainable. It feels
Yeah.
so far from reality. So when someone who has a business and a
Mhm.
family and mental health issues or
Yeah.
neurodivergence or anything that they're dealing with, and they're willing to share how they've overcome those things, it gives so much hope to the women who are coming behind us. So definitely your scars, not your open wounds. And
Yeah.
remember who you're talking to. You're setting the stage for the daughters and nieces and nephews that are coming after you.
I love that. I love that. And would you say that there's like every business owner, every social seller, every influencer, affiliate, whatever we're calling ourselves these days, has kind of one storyline? Or do
No.
you like as you're crafting these stories, is like this is the story I talk about when I'm talking about this, or like that? Like, is it a collection of
It's
stories? What
definitely a
would you
collection.
say?
I
Yeah.
love the book Stories That Stick. That
Uh-huh.
she names like your origin story, your client story, your founder
Yeah.
story, like all of those things. That we definitely have a story bank, right? Or I
Mm-hmm.
like a word closet. I think it's Marissa Corcoran who came up with that. So I love having those little stories that I'm pulling from all the time. We think that the story is redundant because we've heard it over and over again, but our
Hmm.
audience has not. Especially
Yeah.
when you're on a new stage or in a new relationship, all of that information is new to them. So you're
Mhm.
actually deepening the affinity for your brand when you repeat yourself. So you don't want to be like, resist the urge to be interesting all the time. You don't have to.
I love it.
You
You don't
need
even
to
have
be
to be
consistent.
interesting.
You don't. You have to be, right? Like we think we have to be novel and different. And then those are the
Yeah.
people who get, like in the social selling side, they get sucked into the broadcasting, the content creation, the
Mhm.
hamster wheel of it, when in
Yeah.
actuality, you could repurpose.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might show it a different background, a different photo, a different hook or something like that, but I want to hear that story again because I don't remember your stories the way you do because I didn't live
Right.
them or
Yeah.
algorithm didn't show them.
We never even thought it in the first
I
place.
never even saw it in the first place. It's new to me. So
I
I
love that.
appreciate when you double down on your message. And anytime you hear a story and in your DMs or in your texts, or later on you hear clients or just people in your community say that part of your story stood out to me, that's your signal. That's
Mm,
when you know it needs to stay in the repertoire for the foreseeable future. And if it's boring to you, it's it's comforting to your audience.
yeah. Oh, it's not boring. It's comforting.
Mhm.
So good. Okay. If somebody's listening right now and they're thinking, all right, I hear ya. I need to do a little bit more storytelling and
Mhm.
weave that into my selling process. Is there a formula that you recommend on like how to structure this to make sure that your story sells? Is there like, I know sometimes we talk about like the beginning, the middle, and the end, or is there like we want the story to be closely tied enough to what we're selling. And I feel like
Mhm.
sometimes that's where there's the disconnect. Like, what does this have to do with the product? Any suggestions on just how to structure it or kind of think through those stories if we're in the beginning stages?
So I always think through the emotion first. So what is
Okay.
the emotion that I felt in that moment that my
Mm-hmm.
audience is likely also feeling in the moment? That's
Mm-hmm.
where you know that's the most resonant part of the story. One of the like, from ghostwriting days, one of the most like common writing techniques is called in media res, where you drop someone in the middle of the story. So if
Okay.
you can start at that peak,
Yeah.
right? And then really open a story with the juiciest part. And then you can go back and leave it as an open loop, right? If we're
Yeah.
talking writing on LinkedIn or writing. Now, when you're
Sure.
speaking, always say that emotion.
Yeah.
I remember what it felt like I'll tell you, I'll give you a story.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Give me a
I'll
story.
give you one. So I remember this moment where I felt like I wanted to disappear. I'm in a casting in New York for Dove, right? So this is huge. I had gotten stopped in a restaurant. It happened to be a casting agent for Dove. And I'm standing in the cattle call and I had on a glitter Candy's Kohl's bikini. Okay, this is rainbow and glitter. I got it off the clearance rack. And they are these glamazon models. Everyone had on either a white or black bikini and heels. And I literally had on rainbow
Rainbow sparkles.
glitter. Yes. It was insane. I had no idea. I had never been to New York for a casting. I'm like
Yeah.
21 or something like that. Like I had never
Yeah.
been. I had just had a son. Like I was newly married, so I had like stretch marks that I was trying to hide and all these things. And I'm like, no one You know how Miley Cyrus says, I guess I didn't get the memo? I did not get the memo,
Did
right? Like,
not
I
get the
did not
memo.
know that, oh, this is how models in New York look. Because I'm coming from Philly. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
You're like, hey,
sweet, right?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah. But I know that we've all had a moment where we looked around and we're like, I don't belong here. Like,
Mm,
this is not my room. Or I stick out like a sore thumb. How am I going to make the most of this? How am I going to turn this from an obstacle to an opportunity? Because
yeah.
you are going to be a room where you're the only woman
Hmm.
sometimes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the only person of color, or, you know, like the
Hmm.
only, like that's something
Only. Yeah.
we all can share that experience. So
Yeah.
that's something that we all have experienced before and we can get over it. Right. So I
Yeah.
didn't get that casting, but I got one down the line when I came back with the right thing on. And I had 12 years on QVC and worked with Martha Stewart and Katy Perry and all these other cool people. So it all
Yeah.
came together. But I know what it's like to want to disappear, and you
Yeah.
cannot. That is an opportunity. You can say, am I going to shrink? Am I going to run home? Am I going to hide? Am I going to, you know, look for a hoodie and hide? Or am I going to stand tall and put my shoulders back and learn from the experience and make it better next time?
I love that. All right. Rainbow glitter bikinis for the win.
It was like Fergie's from Kohl's or something, like Fergie for Candies by Kohl's. It was just, it was me then. It was
It was
me.
you. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. What a great example. And yeah, I mean, relating that back to business, relating that
Mhm,
back to life, like that's all part of that storytelling. And I think you're right. It's that emotion of, oh, I felt that way before. Or,
mhm,
oh, like that. I was the oldest one in the room. I was the youngest one in the
mm,
room. I
mhm.
felt like I wanted to run away. I felt so
Yeah,
out of my comfort
I wanted
zone,
to
right?
hug, right? We've all had that moment. And so
Yeah.
that is a story that I've used several times in writing or in conversations or in general now on podcasts
Yeah.
because
Now I'm podcast. Yeah.
right? So because it's something that shows like I get it. Like I've been there before. I am not so far ahead of you that I've forgotten what it feels like to be a human being. And ultimately, like we said, people are buying you. When you
Yeah.
show that you're still a human being, we want that because
Yeah. You
I'm
let them
this
in.
is me. I'm here. This is I'm a real person and I'm not perfect and you know what I mean? Like I bleed like you bleed. And that's
Yeah.
a good thing because we can relate.
I love that. So relatable. Shifting gears a tiny bit here. So, from storytelling to social selling, and
Mhm.
knowing that many social sellers, many direct sellers are spending a lot of time up in those DMs. I always say this is
Mhm.
like what nobody sees
Yes.
surface level, how much people are in DMs. And a lot of times in
Mhm.
this business, we talk about role modeling or you want to replicate and you want to show others. But DMs, like you're like secretly in your DMs. It's not out there for the
Mhm.
public to see. Your social content is, but not necessarily your DM. So as people are trying to slide into those DMs or
Yes.
make connections online on social, how do we make sure that those DMs come across in a way that feels like a genuine, authentic connection versus spam?
Yes, right, right. And I get it too. Like I get the spam. I get
Yeah,
the DMs that say I've helped women like you. First of all, I'm like, how do you know what kind of
like,
woman I
right.
am or people like you or business like you? But okay. And then they
Yeah,
go and list all of their strategies and awards and accolades and results and all
sure.
these things. And I'm kind of like,
Like auto
hi.
delete.
Or
Yeah.
no, for me, I'm like, or we could have started with hi.
Oh,
That was a lot. That was a
you're
lot.
nicer than me. I'm like, that was weird. Ignore.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I try to like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, hey, like maybe next
Yeah.
time, you know, this
Let's
isn't for
just,
me next, but next time, maybe like let's just get to know each other first. So I
yeah.
created a framework because I
Okay,
know what it feels like
perfect.
to be on the other end. So it's my ABCs because I'm a homeschool mom, so I try to make things as simple as possible. So
I
the
have an
first
ABC
part,
formula too.
you
So I'm
do?
really
Oh
excited.
yes,
When
I
I
saw it
saw
on
that,
your
I was
website. I
like,
saw it.
I got my
Yes,
ABCs. She's got her
she
ABCs.
gets
We
it.
are,
She gets
yeah, business
it.
sisters. I love it.
Yes.
Okay,
So
tell us about ABCs.
The A is acknowledge.
Hmm.
And because we are always starting with our credibility and we want to show our results and why we should be chosen and all of these other things. And we end up vomiting so much
Yeah.
information on the receiving party that they're like, I like where do I fit in this other than click here to book a call. So if you acknowledge something that recently happened, one, it shows that you're paying attention, that you're
Hmm.
not a bot, that it's not sent a mass message. And
Yeah.
it also feels good for someone to just give you acknowledgement for a recent post that you appreciated, or something they're celebrating, or a new hire if you
Yeah.
see that in the news, or whatever it is that you see in their life, acknowledge it. And then the B is bridge. So this is when
Okay.
you get to talk about yourself
Yep.
briefly. And
Yep.
you bridge
Yep.
it. So, my customers, my clients have had success with, or it reminded me of me,
Mhm.
or just a bridge to connect that experience that you're acknowledging to your experience. This is how you build that connection. And then the C is curiosity, or call to conversation. So I like to end with a question. Let's
Love
deepen
it.
the conversation. So ABC: acknowledge, bridge, curiosity. So often in selling, we think selling is about, remember I said before about being interesting, but the
Yeah.
best sellers are interested. So when you are
Ooh,
asking good
mic drop.
questions, right?
I love that.
When you are
Yes.
asking good questions, when you are paying attention to cues, when you aren't trying to vomit all of your accolades on someone else
Yeah.
and take up the space and show how you are the best, but you are creating a stage for them to really
Yeah.
shine, that gives the relationship a totally different start. And
I love that.
it's something that it feels good to engage in that kind of conversation where it's a genuine back and forth with someone who's actually interested in you. The other part, though,
Mhm.
of social selling is that if you need this one person to convert, you have created much too small of a net. Social
Mhm.
selling requires you to be social. And if we think about
Yeah.
it like a dinner party, sometimes at a dinner party, you say hi and bye to someone. You say, hey, cute shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you like keep moving. And then someone else happens to be watching the same show you're watching, and you talk to them for hours. It's the same thing as social
Mhm.
selling. We're expecting every conversation to turn into the deep childhood
Yeah.
trauma conversation. But not everybody's ready for that. Or
Right.
not
Right.
everybody's drinking, so they're not in that mood. So you need to allow the relationship to unfold at their pace, not yours. So a lot of people ask me, how do I get them to buy? And I'm like, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You're
don't.
just having a
You ask
conversation,
questions. Yeah,
asking
you're being
questions. Yeah.
interested. And then of course, if they mention a problem, ask if they want help with that, because you do
Sure.
have something to sell. But if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. But they will let
Yeah.
you know when they start asking questions, or signing up for your list, or I don't know if you're giving like free samples if it's a physical product, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if they're showing that they want to come further into your world, you pay attention to those signals. And then those
Yeah.
are the conversations you prioritize, because they are demonstrating that they want to go deeper. But if someone's not ready yet, they're not ready yet. And you
Mhm.
continue to mingle, right?
Yeah.
You're embracing your inner Mrs. Congeniality, and you are spreading a wider net, and
Yeah.
you are mingling. You are never desperate, because we can smell desperation.
Yeah.
Even through the keyboard, we can smell it. So cast a wider net. And if you feel like one person is going to make or break you, that's when you know, okay, I need to talk to more people. I need
More.
more
Yeah.
volume. I need more.
I love that. Oh, I love that so much. Okay. So acknowledge is our A, B
Hmm.
is our bridge, and C is our curiosity.
Hmm.
So if we're using that framework, maybe we could just walk through an example. So we're
Hmm.
hanging out on Instagram, we see someone that we think might be our ideal client.
Hmm.
What would that framework look like conversationally in practice?
All right, give me a product. Let's like really get into this.
Okay. Yeah, let's do like a I sell skincare. We'll go with
Oh, yes.
skincare.
Oh,
We'll stick with
my
that. Like
favorite. All right.
you're gonna need the serum because you want your face glowing, right? And you're like,
Mm,
okay, that girl looks like she might need my serum. So
yes,
maybe you're like starting a conversation with someone. Maybe they've engaged with you. Maybe they're
yes,
following you. Where
yes.
would you start? How would you move that conversation forward?
The negging industry has ended. Okay, so there used to be a
Yeah.
time where you would like insult someone, like looks like you need my serum. That used to be a
Looks
thing.
like you need
Let's
this.
not, yeah, don't do that.
No,
We're not going to start with that.
very
So
offensive.
let's say she put a post and she's talking about maybe she got a sunburn, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, because you're a skincare person, hey, I noticed you got a sunburn that looked gnarly. And if you're bridging it to yourself, I used to get sunburns like that all the time. And I wonder what you used to make
Yeah.
it better, right? In the
Yeah.
back of your mind, you know you have something for it, but
Yeah.
you don't throw it in that first conversation, right? That's what I call pitch slap. And no one likes that. No one likes it, right?
Yeah.
But show genuine concern. Is it
Right.
better? What did
Is
you
it better?
fix? Or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like let's just have a normal conversation. And that was just 3 sentences, and let it be. See if she
Mm-hmm.
responds. Now, this is the thing. Everyone loves to buy, but no one
Yeah.
likes to be sold. So if you have your profile like all filled
Mm-hmm.
out
Mm-hmm.
and that in that moment reminds her, oh yeah, that's my friend who sells skincare, right?
Yeah.
So then she could just click through and sell herself on you
Right.
because you saw the signal and you just popped up at the right time
Yep. Yep.
without, right? So then you allow her the agency to
Mm-hmm.
make the decision to buy on her own. But if she needs more conversation, like create a conversation. Create a
Yeah.
conversation by asking a question. So, how's it going? Is it better? What did you
Yeah.
use to get it better? Do you get those often? Remember,
Yeah.
we're at a dinner party. Be interested. So, if
Mm-hmm.
it's anything about skin, and I love, so I'm on LinkedIn doing this. So, I love doing searches. So, if I'm looking for calls for speakers or the word launch, or like
Yeah.
everyone will know what their trigger words are. So, if your trigger word is sunburn, look
Yeah.
for those
Who's
and
posting
comment.
about sunburns?
Yes. So then
Yeah.
you are being social and
Yeah.
socially selling in a very targeted way so that you're
I
not
love that.
trying to talk to anybody and everybody at every point in the buying cycle because we know, what is it, 98% of people are not buying right now. So that's how you
Yeah.
can be a little more targeted by searching and then specifically using the ABC framework with someone who is demonstrating that they're ready
Yeah.
for what you have to offer.
Now, do you feel like it's okay so let's say we did find like rando Joe Schmo, Susie Patoozy over here that has a sunburn.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's okay to send that message to someone that maybe you're not connected with? Because I feel like that's where things get a little bit like,
Yeah.
oh, is this like weird or I'm coming out of left field? Tell me your thoughts on that.
Any relationship can be warmed. Any
Okay.
relationship can be warmed. So you can comment on their things. If you don't want to jump directly into the DMs and you want to warm it up a bit,
Yeah.
absolutely warm it up a bit. So
Okay.
commenting and liking and engaging on their stuff is a great way for you to warm their relationship. Don't be weird. Don't go through and like everything, right?
Yeah.
But you can warm it over time. The other thing I'm thinking is you try to deal with people. I like that LinkedIn shows you your second degree connections. So you
Okay.
already have some overlap because
Yes.
also, you know what I mean? We both know Becky. So
Yeah.
that warms the relationship in itself too. So then you can focus on lukewarm context instead of cold context. Cold traffic
Hmm.
is the hardest to convert, but
Yeah.
if they already have some overlap, even in the search filters, people who went to your same school, people who live in your
Yeah.
city, like we
Some
can
kind of
use,
commonality.
yeah, so we can
Hmm.
target with finding that overlap and then mentioning the overlap to warm the relationship a lot faster.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Do you feel like the approach kind of changes depending upon what platform you're on? Like, are there
Absolutely.
social norms on Instagram that don't apply to
Absolutely.
LinkedIn or vice versa? Any
Absolutely.
suggestions on how to navigate that and make sure that we're coming across in the right way? Like,
Yeah,
LinkedIn is a bit more professional than
ex-
maybe hanging out on TikTok and figuring
exactly.
out the right way to approach it.
You have to follow the rules of the platform. So I have
Mhm.
clients like startup founders who use Quora and Reddit, right? So
Uh-huh.
there's different rules on Reddit. They don't love when every one of your comments mentions your product, but they will click through if you have been helpful and see that your name is startup of, this founder of this startup or whatever. Like it can build your
Yeah.
credibility in that way and also SEO and AEO and all those things. It can help with
Hmm.
that, but there are rules for every platform and you have to follow the rules of engagement. So
Yeah.
when you're social selling, another part of it requires you not only to be like a seller, like you're not just getting on here to turn it on and then thinking you can post and ghost and do what you got to do,
Hmm.
but you also have to learn the rules. Instagram's
Yeah.
a lot more casual. And if you're working with women versus men, women are much more, we want connection, right? We want to
Yeah.
be warmed, we want to be courted, we want to be chased a little more. So it involves a
Yeah.
little more conversation, a lot more coffee chats, or maybe, voice notes and things like that. Whereas if you're working with like CEOs and people who don't have a lot of time, they're like, can you get to it? Like
Yeah. Like,
I need to
what do you got for
come,
me?
come, come, right? Like they're not looking for those. So you absolutely have to understand the platform and your audience and
I love
follow
that.
the rules of engagement.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, thinking a little bit more about these like cold connections or people that are one removed from you, we know that, like on LinkedIn, you would send a connection request, or if you're hanging
Mhm.
out on Instagram, you're going to start following. And that's probably the first step, right? Is making the connection, identifying who the person is. And like you said, using some search to make sure that you're targeting, well, for lack of a
Mhm.
better word, the
Mhm.
right people. And then what are your suggestions about like that back and forth dance of
Mhm.
building the relationship, having some exchanges in the DMs, and knowing when is the right time to sell.
Mhm.
Because I think this is such a tough question because there isn't really like a magic wand, like, oh, all of a sudden the profile turned green. Now's
Right,
the
right, right.
time that we're going to sell them on whatever the thing is. And I
Yes.
love that you already said you kind of have to go at their pace. It's
Mhm.
not like you can just shove things down people's throats. So, any cues or signals that you would say are like, okay, now's the time that it's like permission granted. Go ahead and pitch your product or invite them to learn more about your services.
So there are going to be people who say, pitch me. I have people say that. And I write, I will not pitch you, but there's some women who are like, no, I want to know what you're doing. So
Yeah.
you answer questions. If they
Mhm.
have questions about what you do, they will ask you. But this is also when your content and your profiles and your sales pages, they do a lot of the heavy lifting. And it's another
Mm.
reason why I love inviting people into my world through events or lead magnets or follow me on Substack, because then that content can also sell without it
Mhm.
sells for me in the background in a
Yeah.
very, I mean, there's no passive income. That's not really a thing, but in a passive way, it allows
Yeah.
them at their own pace to digest who I am and what I offer and how we can help one another or how we can benefit from taking our relationship deeper. So
Yeah.
the onus, I feel like every part of social media has its own job. And
Mhm.
we think that every piece is supposed to do all the jobs, and that's where it goes wrong. So you think your profile is supposed to attract and engage and convert, when in actuality, your profile is a landing page,
Mhm.
right? So it's
Mhm.
somewhere where they read and know something about you and they need to know what to do next. That's your
Yep.
profile's job. It's a very clear, in 5 seconds or less, do I fit this person's target market? Is there overlap? Are they even talking to me? Right?
Yeah.
Am I their person or not? That's your profile's job. The DM's job is to build trust. It's not
Mhm.
to sell. Your
Mhm.
content, your email list, your sales pages, your webinars, those, their job is to sell. Your
Yeah.
demonstrations, your freebies, their product samples, those experiences sell. The DM
Mhm.
is to build trust, is to make invitations. It's to, we need know, like, and trust. So
Yeah.
that initial follow or connection request, that's awareness. You're
Yeah.
not relying on the algorithm. You are choosing who you're curating your audience with the right people. And that's based off of previous buyers and believers. So you can say, oh, she's kind of like a Becky. She, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that relationship went well. So let's see if this one will go well. And in the beginning, you are planting lots of seeds, not knowing which ones will bloom. But
Yeah.
the awareness piece, if you're relying on the algorithm, we don't know who the algorithm will send you. So the awareness
Mhm.
piece is intentional. You are curating your network. The engagement piece is your content, but that trust is conversations in the DMs. And your goal is to answer questions and make invitations so they will start answering questions. You need to put them in circumstances where questions are expected. A workshop, a webinar,
Mhm.
a networking event, that's where people ask questions and they're demonstrating intent. It's an old book, Book Yourself Solid. It's old. I think it's like from the 90s. It's so old. It works. And in it, he talks
Yeah.
about always having something to invite people to.
I love
It
that. I
could
love that.
be, and it could be live, it could be on demand, but you should be able to say, hey, thanks for following me here.
Yeah.
Join me on Substack. Hey, thanks for following me here. Come to my networking event. Thanks for following me here. Watch this webinar. You know what I mean? Or a private podcast
Yeah.
or whatever it is, because all of the content is working together in a symphony. But no
Mhm.
one piece is doing all of the work.
Oh, okay, I love this for so many reasons, but I feel like we hear a lot around selling in the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's whole programs out there where people are
Mm-hmm.
teaching like how to close people in the DMs and how we got to get in there and we got to get people buying from us and the value of that. So I love kind of the reframe on this that the DMs are for building the trust, but
Mm-hmm.
always have something to invite them to where they
Mm-hmm.
can learn more. And that could even be like your email sequence, really, right?
Absolutely.
Like, hey, come
Absolutely.
hang out with me over here. And I think the other thing this does, which takes us back to like my very first question about social media and our shared love hate with it,
Mm-hmm.
is that it also brings them into your world where they're not just a follower over on Instagram or a
Mhm.
connection on LinkedIn. Now they're getting emails from you. They're attending workshops you're doing. You're able to really build that trust factor outside of the algorithm or not be
Yes,
reliant on the
yes.
algorithm doing that heavy lifting. So I love this approach.
And
Tara,
you know
this
what?
is so good.
And I will say, those close in the DM things
Yeah.
work at scale. So if you have a team of appointment setters and they're churning and burning, it
Yeah.
absolutely works. But I'm all about relationships. So my
Hmm.
goal isn't just to like, oh, she's one of the 98% that's not buying now, cross her off. I never want to see her again.
Yeah.
Because you might be a referral partner. You
Hmm.
might be a collaborator. We might do something together. You might recommend me to a friend that I would
Yeah.
never know because you follow me. You might not ever. That's why I always say like buyers and believers because the
Yeah.
believers bring you the buyers, but they may not be buyers themselves. And
Yeah.
so often we're like taught to churn and burn and like just get through the numbers and get through the audience and just make those phone calls. And it does work, but you're
Yeah.
leaving 98% of your audience with a really bad taste in your mouth. And that's
Yeah.
for me, right? Everyone has a different business, but for
Hmm.
me, it doesn't feel good to build my business in that way. I would never want to feel like I annoy people to make a living.
Hmm.
Just no, right? Like I have
Yeah.
conversations, I help people, I make invitations, I throw parties, you know what I mean? Like all those things, I do that to make a living. But do I want to just annoy people
No.
or circle back to make a living? No.
Yeah.
Like if I did that, I would go be a salesperson, and that's
Yeah.
expected. But sales is part of our job. It's not our job. And so the
Yeah.
delivery for your entire process, like how you attract someone or how you start that relationship, sets the tone for the entire relationship. So I want to set a very consent-based,
Hmm.
warm, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the tone I want to set in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. In some of my training, I talk about like permission-based marketing in the
Yes.
DMs, right? So rather than like you said, consent-based, like you're not assuming they want to see your latest catalog or assuming that they want an invite to that event. And it's so much
Yes.
conversational when you're asking those questions and saying, hey, I have this
Yes.
event coming up. Do you want to check it out? Or hey, our company just dropped a new catalog. You want to take a peek at it? Then it feels
Yes.
so much better on the
So much
selling
better.
side to be able to let them say, yes, I'm raising my hand. I do
Yes.
want that. Tell me more. And it just feels a
Mhm.
lot more natural. So,
And you're not in the dark anymore because then they've given you permission. So you know
yeah.
who to focus on. So
Yeah.
often you're like badgering people who haven't given
Mhm.
you any
Yeah,
they
they're not.
haven't given you any like insinuation that they want to move the
Yeah.
relationship forward. So then that's why we're like, how do I make them buy? They haven't given you any signals because they're not ready. But
Yeah.
if they give you signals, then you can focus on that. So yeah, just a casual,
Mhm.
it's we're adults. It's 2025. Let's ask. It's okay to say, do you want to see this? Instead of just
Yeah.
spamming people.
Spamming people about it. Well, and the other thing that I didn't want to gloss over, because I think it was really important that you said that if you feel like you're in this stage of like, I got to talk to this person. I got to get the sale. And then you haven't casted your net wide enough. And I think that
Mhm.
that's a really great reminder because sometimes when we just start with our warm market or we just talk to friends and family and followers, it feels really small and we kind of keep going back to the same people. And then we're like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, please, Aunt Susie, I hope Aunt Susie
Yes.
buys this from me. And that's
Yes.
not a good place to be. That's a place of desperation. And
No.
that comes across in your messages and it just feels icky. So I
Mhm.
think it's a really great reminder that if you're feeling that, like, oh, this really isn't how I want to be running my business, but it's the reality of what I've been doing for a long time, then it
Mhm.
is how do we open that net? How do we reach more people and how do we broaden who we're connecting with? Which I think you've given us some really great strategies on how to do that. Like even just the
Yes.
search ideas.
Just
I
searching.
think
Just
people aren't
find some
doing.
new people
Yeah.
and go outside.
Yeah.
Outside. Go to a networking event. Go to a conference. Like
In
go
real
hang with
life?
your friends. Yes, in real life. Like we build our
Yeah.
if you've seen someone's feet, that solidifies a relationship
Yeah.
in a totally different way, right? Like when you're like, wow, you are not a floating head in a box on a computer, but you are a person. That's a real relationship. And
You
that's
gotta
something
show
we
them
take
your
for
feet.
granted. Yeah. Like show your feet. That
That is the
that gives
best.
you a real relationship. So that
Yeah.
also, like, if you want to cast a wider net, get out there.
Yeah.
Get out
Get
there.
out there. Yeah. Yeah, and I think some are like, "Oh, that's like old school. That's not how I'm doing this whole online thing, so I can not leave the house." But I think there is real value of getting out there, getting in front of people, and even just having that practice of talking about what you do. And back to the storytelling at the beginning of this episode,
Mhm.
that's not something that everyone naturally feels comfortable doing, but the
Mhm.
more you do it, the better you get at it. So show them your
Yes.
feet, tell the stories,
Yes.
leave the house.
And if that person is expecting perfection from you, they're not your person anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So remember, we talked about relatability. So if you are honest and vulnerable, I'm really nervous right now. I'm really nervous too,
Yeah.
right? Like usually at
Yeah.
a networking event, someone else is like, this is a little weird. Yeah, it's a little weird for
Right.
me too. Then you break the
Right.
ice that way by being honest and showing like, I was afraid. There's my scar again, right? Like I'm not
Yeah.
bleeding, right? Like I'm not
Right. I
not so
used to
much
feel this
trepidation,
way.
right? But I
Yes.
pushed through it and it was a little weird, but I'm happy I made it.
Yeah.
And they feel the same way. Then you're opening the door to that conversation. ABC works in person too. But yeah, it's a muscle. You build it. And I'm a mom, so I understand if we can't do an event every week. I aim for one a month. Remember,
Mhm.
all of this
Mhm.
compounds. If you're sending 100 connection requests a week on LinkedIn or 100 follows every week on Instagram, over a year, that's 5,000, right?
That's a
So,
lot.
right? So we're thinking like this, like we're used to like the instant microwave society, but
Yeah.
the seeds you plant in this quarter start to bloom in the next quarter and then they
Right.
compound every quarter after that. So start where you are and
Yeah.
know that the event every month or the live every month and the requests every week and all of those seeds you're planting, eventually you have
Mhm.
this entire garden that's blooming.
Oh, beautiful. We want the blooming garden. I love it. But it
Yes,
doesn't
we
happen
all
overnight.
deserve
And I
it.
think, well, and I think that's important is that relationship building, and that's a big part of what we're doing in social selling, is not like the overnight success
It's
story.
not over.
People are
And
always
if
like, how does it go faster? I'm like, talk to more
you get a
people, more
job,
conversations.
or you get a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
If you need it to be instant, like if you need a paycheck right now, there's no shame in that. And having a side
Yeah.
job or something else that makes it so that you can let this grow at its own pace, but it is
Right.
not instant. And if you need instant, just know that that segment of your audience will not come back to build a relationship with you, right? So
Yeah.
if you need to do the turn and burn for a bit, okay, right? Like just really be honest about what you're risking in that situation and understanding that all of those people now see you as this type of person.
Right.
And if you can stand that, okay. But
Yeah.
if you can't, like consent, like right permission, like you get to decide what your business looks like. So you decide, yes or no, this is how I want to build my business or not.
Yeah. Oh, so good, Tara. This has been so lovely. And to wrap us up, I know that you have a little gift for us.
Oh,
So
I
tell us
do.
about
Okay.
that and then where we can find you also.
Yes. So I'm a LinkedIn girly, so you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm also on Substack, my name, Tara Lassiter. But I have a
Yeah.
gift for your listeners. So it's DM, like direct message, DM, D as in dog, M as in Mary, confidencekit.com. So there you can download. I have like 7 different templates and a whole like explanation of the ABC framework. And just my goal is for you to send more message, not overthink. So this will
Yeah.
help you not overthink. Like
So
you can
good.
just get started.
DMconfidencekit.com.
.com.
So, okay, we will make sure that is linked in the show notes as well for everyone to
Awesome.
easily click on. That is so generous of you. Thank you. We're all going
Awesome.
to go grab it and start
Yeah.
building confidence in the DMs and
Yes.
practice our storytelling. This has been just such a treat
It
to
was. It
spend
was
some
so
time
awesome
with
speaking to
you.
you.
Thank
Yes.
you so much for being here
And
today.
thank you for having me. I loved it. It was great.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tara.
Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by CintShare. CintShare is the #1 social media scheduler for direct sellers and loved by creators in any industry. It's truly your one-stop shop for all things social. Join hundreds of thousands of social sellers and entrepreneurs who turn to CintShare for free social media training and resources. Get started today with your free 30-day trial at moderndirectseller.com/CintShare.